Good day, crafty chums, and welcome to another hashtag event. This hashtag is Love Spring Art. And I shall probably put a link via a card tomorrow onto this whatever it is video that I'm doing here, and two other great artists. Not that I'm a great artist, but two other great artists apart from myself who are doing the event, and you can go and watch their videos as well. So if you're wondering what I'm doing here, I'm actually making two ATC cards, and I've just laid down some colour on some scrap paper I had that is just a little bit bigger than the ATCs are, and I will be cutting them down later on in the video. As you saw, I put the acrylic paint on, and now I'm doing a bit of a bubble wrap acrylic distress technique, which is one of my favourite ones, and to help knock back any colour that I've already laid down. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Here we go, here we go. And probably decided it needed a bit more brightening up, so I've popped a bit of yellow there, because I've got some distress ink on that little top bit that I did first, and I'm just trying to lighten up that colour there. Didn't really work, so now I'm going over it with some more yellow on one of these Tim Holtz, I think it is. No, it's not Tim Holtz, is it? It's a what's it? Andy Skinner stencil. And yeah, and that's what my new favourite stencil. Really like that stencil, it's rather fab. So anyway, so I put some more yellow on there to lighten it up in the acrylic paint, and I'm trying to lighten it up again with some white on this little bit of texture here that Josie sent me in some Happy Mail a while ago. It's one of my favourite little texture pieces, and it gives a really delicate honeycomb print when you do that. So yeah, just knocking back and just trying to lighten it up just a little bit more. So I'm at my mother-in-law's, and I've got no dryer for this, so I have to try and let it dry, but I'm a little bit impatient as I go along, and it's a little bit difficult to wait for it to dry. And here I've got a little stamp of a rabbit. And this is from a gorgeous, it's a gorgeous one. Gorgeous rabbit. I'll just have a look to see where it's from. I mean, what it's called. It's part of a set, and Hush Little Bunny it's called. The stamp set is called Hush Little Bunny. That's only like a fraction of the stamp set. It's yeah, a gorgeous girl one. Santoro of London. Very nice set. And I coloured them in with some watercolours. Actually, I did with watercolour first. I thought, oh, that's a bit silly. What I should use is the Inktense pencils, because of course when you go over Inktense afterwards, after you've activated them, then they're permanent. So I thought, oh, stupid me, should have got my Inktense pencils out first. So anyway, here I am colouring in the little rabbits. What's really funny is that I coloured them in and then decided not to use them, but I thought I'd just leave them in anyway, and to show you how the process goes when you're creating is that, you know, if it's not right. I think it wasn't right in the end because I used red on there, and of course I've got no red in the background, so it just wouldn't have looked right anyway, so that's the reason why I didn't use them, is that I chose the wrong colours basically. And actually changed my mind over what I was going to do anyway, so I'll sometimes do that. if I actually haven't planned it out beforehand very well, then I often change my mind. Trying to show you there, trying to get the camera into focus. There you go. This is a script stamp. I don't know where it's from. I don't know the name of the company who makes it or anything, because I just got it very cheaply in a, I found it cheap in a little, not a junk shop, what you call them, second-hand shop. And so there's like no real information with it. Here I am just marking out now, going to cut this down, making sure I cut out, take away as much of the place where the distress inks were as well. So that's 2.5 inches wide, and that's 7 inches long, so it's going to be just in half, is going to be 3.5 inches, 2.5 by 3.5. So yes, cutting along there. I did manage to take a good bit of the distress paint, you know, but there was quite a nasty little patch there that was quite dark and didn't look very good at all. So yeah, so even though I knew that half was 3.5 inches, just checking, it's always good to double check your your cuttings out. So there you go. 2 ATC size cards now that I'm working on. Yeah, it's good to do a voiceover. I bet this is really quiet and I'll have to bring the volume up afterwards. And this is another one of my favourite new stencils, the swirly ones. I've got this in a lot of my work at the moment. I just love it. I don't know whether I love it because of the action you have to do to get it onto the paper, or from the look of it, I don't know. Maybe it's a combination of both. I just love doing that circle motion there. Oh, it's very strange, the things that entertain us, isn't it? Yeah, so I mean, I'm just getting layer upon layer now, just really building up the colour and the layers. Love it. Getting pleased. So there you go. I put little bunnies on, and I was determined to use a little bee stamp. I've got 2, and of course, you know, put the bee on, and blah, it doesn't really go, does it? So that's when I decided not to use the bunny. What I did here was I used distress inks to start with, and it smudged. So I decided not to go with the distress inks and use some Versamark ink instead. And guess what? It didn't smudge this time, but what it did was it sort of slicked over the surface. And so it was a very, so that time it was, yeah, I didn't get a good impression, and it was slightly fuzzy around the edges too, so win some, lose some. So I didn't get very good stamping impression on either of these, and I'll go over it again. Try very hard to get it in the same place, but do you know what? You're very lucky if you can actually get them to come out in the same places when you go over them. So anyway, pressing down, trying actually not to press too hard because of the you know, the slickness of it. Yeah, so now I've got just a little flower stamp. It's a cheap little 50p one that I picked up somewhere. Never stamps very well, this one, but you know, it's okay for mixed media work. So yeah, just inking up with Versamark ink again. I was going to leave it like this. My first thought was to leave the stamps looking like that. Nothing wrong with that. But of course I decided that maybe it was a little too dark. And so I decided to paint over them. Actually, what I decided to do was try and paint over it and leave the black, and then I changed my mind on that as well, and decided in the end to paint over the black centre. There you go, I'm going for it now. Where am I? Is it here that I decided not to? Anyway, you'll see me paint, and then I decided to go over it in the painting. Yeah, I think I decided it looked a bit silly like that. So just went over it. So of course once you go over the black, then you've got a little bit of extra work to make the black disappear, or as good as disappearing. And I'll be doing the other card the same. Oh dearie me. Excuse the yawn. It's late at night while I'm doing this. Got to go into town today to get my mother-in-law's car sorted out. Windscreen wipers anyway. Then I had to go to the bank, pay some bills, pick up another passport document thing. Gotta renew my passport. Long day today. Here we go. Actually, I'm using just yellow and white on these. Make it sort of a spring colours, you know, nice and light. To me, spring is flowers and bees, and well, summer is bees really, but you know, you've got to have the old bees to pollinate them too, haven't you? But anyway, spring flowers, yes. And weeds. Got to get in the garden and weed as well when it's spring. See, here we go. I just use acrylic paints. All the paints that I'm using here are acrylic paints, so I won't bore you with that. It's got some yellow. I decided to do yellow centres. And put some on the bees too. Just takes me a long time to get the yellow paint working, doesn't it? Yay! I need to buy some more yellow paint. Look, I've got hardly any left in that tube, have I? Yes, looking much more spring-like now. They were very dark at one point. And the bees, mustn't forget the bees. I decided not to colour in the wings. I was having, while I was doing that, I was thinking, shall I do the wings as well? And I thought, in the end, I just left it. I thought, no, looks okay as it is. Then I was going to put some glitter on there, and then I thought, you know, sparkles on there. But then I decided not to. Here I'm using a Posca paint pen, and my gosh, if you can find them and you can afford them, get some Posca paint pens for your mixed media. They are just brilliant. Brilliant. I don't think I'll use anything else from now on. So glad I found them in the little art shop here in where we are here at my mother-in-law's place. Before I leave, I might actually go and buy some more. Oh. Oh my goodness, Posca, yes. I've got the brush nib one. I don't know whether there are different nibs or points to them or anything. I bought this one and it's a brush nib one, and it's wonderful, truly wonderful. I picked up a white one as well. Haven't used that one yet, but I know I will eventually. And hopefully I won't get any more flipping accidents with my paint pens now. As I say, late at night while I'm doing this. Don't normally leave things so late before uploading because I don't have good uploads here. Everything's really slow, so normally I do this days in advance, but I did the 29 painted faces and it's taken up a lot of my time. So anyway, just going around the edges here with the yellow Memento ink. Would have been nice to go around them in gold, but I don't have any on me here. So yeah, and then I decide it doesn't quite show up enough, so I'm going to go around it in yellow paint. And even then that didn't show up very well either, but it's just enough, I think. Just enough to make a border around the edge. I could think of something else to say now, so say it's late at night and I'm tired, the brain doesn't work very well. Here I am just trying to have a look to see whether I wanted a pink centre or that shows up as quite a clear colour, but it's a really pale blue. So that's why I went with that colour there, is because it comes out pale blue and it's not really like a diamond colour, it's actually blue. So there we go, nice little centre in the flower there. Put too much on that right hand one and it's slipped. So then I cleaned up round with a napkin, little tissue around there, and of course it had to smudge, didn't it? But anyway, I'm leaving it as it is. Thanks for watching, hope to see you again soon, and don't forget to watch all the other videos taking part in this month's hashtag event for Creative Arts Collaboration. See you again soon, bye.